Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Super Meat Boy. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and today we move on to the last chapter of Super Meat Boy. The end. Oh my god. I said I loved Rapture, but I really love what they did with the final chapter here. The end. It's only 5 levels long, and you need to beat all of them to get to the final boss of the game. When I first played Super Meat Boy, I thought the Rapture would be the final chapter, and that the little slot on the menu screen would be for some kind of bonus chapter, but no. The boss of Rapture was Larry, and now we've come to Dr. Fetus's Flying Fortress. I really do love this, and I do love that they used Pokemon for the intro, little intro cinematic. The end. All of the levels are very long. 5 levels, but most of them are pretty long and relatively difficult. Not as difficult as the average Rapture level, but again, it's the length that makes up for it. So today we're going to be finishing it. We're going to be going on, doing these last 5 levels, and getting right to the end. Now, this is one of those levels where you have to get through it and then basically go back through the whole level that you just did. And while I've been railing against these kind of levels, saying, oh, I don't like having to do the same level again, this one feels different because it feels like a different level when you go backwards through it. I don't know what it is, and I just fell through the clouds. Oh well. Just because they're not as hard, as I was saying, just because these levels aren't as hard as the average Rapture level, well, that doesn't mean it's any excuse to be lazy. You still have to be cautious with these levels, because if you die, well, they're long levels. Most of them have a par time of over 30 seconds, so yeah. There's no just... You can run through these ones blindly, but it's better to err on the side of caution, because even getting the A+ on this level isn't that hard. It lets you take your time, usually. Another thing about these levels is you can only play them as Super Meat Boy. The last 5 levels of the game, you can only play as Super Meat Boy. No unlockable characters, probably because they would break it, and they would break these levels. These are specifically designed for Meat Boy, and I just love them. I love the way they're designed, I love the atmosphere, I love the music. It's basically like a Rapture 2, but it's great. Each level does get harder than the last, and I do remember specifically level 5 having some very, very difficult time areas. So yeah, this is the end. No unlockable characters, no bandages, no warp zones. This area is really scarce on the secrets. They really just put the focus on, this is the end of the game. And I love it. I love it. John Lovitz. Okay, that was dumb. A+. See, we're not that far in, and already we're on the second last level. But, again, you gotta be careful. You have to be cautious. There's no reason to get sloppy. You gotta take your time, kind of like what I'm not doing, but there are some precision jumps in here, usually later on in these levels. Level 4... See? They must have had a lot of fun designing this final area of the game. Again, I thought Rapture would have been the final boss area, and then that this would have just been a bonus world. But no. Omega. The last level. The last, yes. Again, in order to get the boss of this level, normally it would have been 17 out of 20 levels. This is, you gotta beat all 5. But you know what? If you can get to the end of this, if you can get to the end, you can beat this. If you can beat Rapture, if you can beat Salt Factory, Hell, Rapture, you can beat these 5 levels. You can make it to the end, and you can do it. It may look intimidating, especially this level, with some of its more dangerous jumps. Like this one. Well, you're golden. Sometimes you just gotta take risks, though. And this is a very mean final little passage, but we got through it. We're gonna have to go back and get the A+, but that doesn't matter, because we made it through to the final boss in ample time. Now, it's time. Oh my god, there's something so satisfying about that cutscene. Just the way they combine a gameplay mechanic in with the story. I know they already did that with Hell, but that was just, it was really cool to see. So, Dr. Fetus, final boss. Fairly, not too difficult. Again, it's in the vein of the other bosses, most of the other bosses in this game, where it's like a normal level with another obstacle to worry about. In this case, it's Dr. Fetus and his rocket launcher. Usually in this level you can get pretty far ahead of him to where his missiles won't get you. But you gotta be careful because those missiles can get you off guard. They seem a little more accurate and a little more deadly than the typical giant missiles. Actually, apparently if you go into the debug of this game or something or other, you can actually unlock Dr. Fetus by cheating, and he actually has his rocket launcher you can use. So I guess that would be useful against certain enemies. That was dangerous. So that's actually really cool. And this is a cool final boss. It's not my favorite kind of final boss. Larry is still my favorite boss of Rapture. But this is definitely, this is what the game was basically built around. This is in the spirit of Meat Boy. And they couldn't have had a more fitting boss. And here we are at the end. Now this is a very easy area to die in. It's very easy to get overzealous. No! We're gonna cut back to the end because I basically got it. And of course, it probably doesn't have to be said. Amazing music. But we're not done yet. You thought that was the final cutscene, but you were wrong. Well, actually, maybe you played this game and you knew that was a fake-out ending. That is not the end of the boss fight. Now, we have to get out. With Bandage Girl on our back, no less. It's kind of a cute little detail. But I actually feel a little bad for Dr. Fetus in that ending there. I mean, sure, he's evil, but he almost feels evil in like a Saturday morning cartoon evil. And that you actually feel bad if he dies. It's... I don't know how to explain it. I wouldn't say he's a lovable character because he is just... he's a petulant little asshole, but... So this is the final section of Meat Boy. The final stretch, getting back through the level and escaping the destruction of Dr. Fetus's fortress. And boy, is it already falling to pieces. Actually, on the Xbox Live version of this game, and I'm not sure if they've patched this yet, because patching on Xbox Live arcade games is kind of weird. The music in this level glitches up partway through so that there's no music. It doesn't loop. I mean, obviously they can fix that a lot easier on Steam. I don't know if they fix that. And we're at the end. Aw, isn't that sweet? There we go, guys. That's the end of the game. Oh boy, that was fun. That was fun doing those worlds, and now get treated to the ending, the credits, and little cutscenes, and the poor squirrel. Oh, poor squirrel. Oh boy, look at all the warp zone art. Oh look, Chad never really died. Meat Boy didn't actually kill him with a pillow. Now he looks kind of, well, I don't know. Ugh. Brownie returned from the salt to save our lives, and now can't get a break. But, to be fair, Brownie is pretty gross. Not his fault, but... And it's party time in hell. Look at all those Meat Boys doing the wave in the background. They're just like the Meat Boys in the options in the main menu. It's neat. Wonder if they just use the same... Oh... Aw, Larry Jr. You have a terrible future ahead of you. Oh, I love the credits music. It's great. Great how it just cycles through all the worlds, especially when it gets to Rapture. My favorite music. Ooh, what's this? What's the matter, Meat Boy? And that's it. The question mark?